Welcome to the Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church Network, where we are building faith and transforming lives, where our senior pastor is the Reverend James I. Perkins.
Well, hello, and welcome to Mount Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church Straight Talk. As it is, it's just straight talk. We ask questions, we converse about the things of Lenore and what's going on in our system. And this morning, or today, I have with me Miss Debbie Eller, who is the Executive Director of Community and Schools. And I thought that this would be a good time to approach Miss Eller, since we have endured the school year, going into the summer, and maybe making plans for the fall, for the fall. So at this time, I would just like to say to Miss Eller, welcome and thank you for being our guest here at Straight Talk.
Well, thank you for asking me.
What I wanted to do, first of all, is just talk about community and schools. And I know that it's been around it's not been around for a long, long time, and it's not getting personal in your personal numbers, age-wise and all that stuff. But how long has community and schools been in Caldwell, I guess?
Communities and Schools has been here for 32 years.
32 years.
In January, it was 32 years.
Yeah.
And I've been with Communities and Schools for 18 years.
Gosh, Debbie, it doesn't seem like, I remember, well, back in the day, I sort of worked a little bit with community and schools, and actually I was a tutor for 2 years out at Gainwell Middle, and I was at West Caldwell, and I thought it is a great program, and it helps the children and as well as the students, as well as the parents. So Debbie, how do you communicate, or what is your association with the schools, the Caldwell County schools?
Well, we are a service that's integrated into the school system.
Yeah.
So we have actually a classroom site. So the traditional 4 middle schools and the 3 high schools all have what we call a site coordinator. And they all conduct classes, and we teach small business enterprise, financial literacy. We, of course, support core subjects. So if students are behind, we're working with them. We provide students with mentors. We also provide students with tutors if they need a tutor. So our relationship has been a long relationship. It's been a good relationship.
Sure.
And it's a partnership.
Yeah.
It's a partnership that helps to serve students that need just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
Now, the on-site coordinator, is that a part of your office, or is that a part of the school, or what does the on-site coordinator do for his community and schools?
The on-site coordinator is actually a school system employee.
Oh, okay.
And they're repositioned to communities and schools.
Yeah.
And they provide the curriculum and the instruction that our program delivers. So they're they have a dual role. They're a school system employee, and oversight is by communities and schools to make sure that we're providing them with a system of services.
Yeah. Now, does the school refer the children to community and schools as a point of this person needs help, or this one needs tutoring, or this one needs just some hand on hand?
Well, in January, we put our referrals out to our elementary schools.
Yeah.
So wherever that elementary school feeds into, we put the referrals out, and the counselors and social workers and teachers refer the students that might need the most help. And with that referral, then we do a home visit to get to know the family and the student a little bit, and to explain the program and make sure it's something they're comfortable with being a part of.
That was going to be my next question. How does the family accept or receive this kind of assistance and help from the community and schools or the school system.
You know, once a family gets to know what the services are all about,
Yeah.
I mean, at first they're a little hesitant sometimes, but that's with anything that's new to the household.
Yeah,
But once they get to know that we're there for them and for their children, that we're going to work with them with their needs as well as the students'
good.
needs.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to look at them as in a holistic approach, the
Yeah.
whole family.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because we will have families who had children in or relatives in communities and schools 30 years ago
Yeah.
that now have children. Let's say children that were in our program have children
Right.
now.
Yeah.
They want their children in the program.
Yeah.
They want the children to have that support system and to build those relationships, to know there's always an extra person there to advocate for them.
Yeah. And that's good. While you were talking about speaking with the families, I was just thinking maybe you have one child there and there's two other children that may not need these services, but you got to make that one child feel comfortable letting him know or her know, well, listen, you're no different from the others. It's just that, you just need a little more help.
Yeah.
And to make a child feel comfortable, Debbie, that requires some psychology or training or whatever, or does it?
It does, and what we try to let the children know is that we want you to reach your fullest potential.
Right.
That we see potential in you that you're not reaching yet, and we're going to see if we can't get you there.
Yeah.
We want you to be everything you want to be in this world and show you how to get there.
Yeah. I share this same or similar conversation with Dr. Phillips. Sometimes back, sit in the same chair there. And what amazed me not amazed me, but helped me was that the school is particularly interested in the children. You guys are interested in educating the whole child, every child, and no child is going to go without an education if it's left up to the school system.
That's right.
Or to community and schools. And I think that is what is so helpful here in Caldwell County.
Dr. Phipps is amazing.
Yeah.
I think he's we couldn't have a better person in the leadership role
Yeah.
than we've had to get us through this pandemic,
Yes.
to keep us moving forward, and to keep the children in the forefront of the needs of this community,
Yeah.
to make sure they were fed, that there were people reaching out to make sure they were all right, that there were, wellness checks done, that if you needed something, we all worked together to make sure you
That's
got
great.
what you needed.
Yeah.
We couldn't have had a better leader to get us through these times.
I think so too. And I'm thanking you for echoing that. It's just a great person to talk with and to be in that position. One word that got me, that you said, that the service, and I like that. Community and schools is not a business, or it's not something independent. It is a service to the community and to the schools. And I like that. I hadn't heard that so many times. And when we can get back to the word service, that means helping and doing things for one another. And I like that in your, I guess, your definition of community and schools, that you guys are a service to the community.
We are, and we should be servant leaders.
And if we're not, that's what we should be, because that's what life's about.
Yeah.
To get our families where they need to be, they need servant leadership, people that
Absolutely.
believe in them, people that can show them hope.
Yeah. And I think this is where we build these future men and future women and future educators, when they can feel the love that is projected or shown to them through community and schools or through a mentor. That is going to encourage them to do better. But if we don't show that when we are mentoring or when we are associating with these children, then what are we going to show them?
And a huge part of our program is nurturing.
We have to nurture. And there's a lot of times that we kiddingly in the office will say, well, I've been a surrogate parent for this child. Thank God they're walking across that stage. Because not every child has the home life that they need to have.
Yeah.
And that isn't because parents don't work hard, but that's because some parents are overwhelmed.
Yes.
And they need that support. The parent needs
Yes.
that support to know there's someone else looking out for their child.
Very good. Yeah. I thought about, and this pink elephant is dwindling. Used to be a great big elephant in the room, the COVID. but I can see them now shrinking.
Mhm.
And I know that there had to be some planning, extra planning, in order for the community and schools to get through this COVID thing with assigning a parent or assigning a volunteer here and there. Was that a major, well, I guess a transition going in from your traditional responsibility, trying to deal with COVID and trying to deal with getting in and out of the schools?
Well, of course, the first thing was we wanted to make sure that all of our staff was safe.
Yes, yes.
And that everything that we did was around a safety measure.
Yeah.
And we followed the school's leadership on that.
That's good.
We masked up, we did everything we're supposed to be in the school. All mentoring was virtual,
Okay.
because we didn't want strangers in the school, anyone that had been,
Mhm.
outside of your normal pod, you might say,
Mhm.
to interact with you. So that was all virtual. We took curriculum and made it virtual.
Mhm.
We had virtual tutoring. So we learned how to do things virtually. And our site coordinators did an amazing job this
That's
year.
good. Yeah.
We had 3 of the site coordinators that were actually school system instructional assistants of the year.
Yeah.
And one of those 3 was the Caldwell County instructional assistant of the year.
Oh,
So they went above and beyond what their jobs were.
yeah.
And I feel like the wellness part, the checking to make sure that kids and families had what they needed,
Yeah.
that no child was being left out of
Yeah.
any type of, if they couldn't get the food, if they didn't have a way to go and pick it up, let's make arrangements to have it delivered, or let's
Mhm.
pick it up ourselves.
Mhm.
So it's just things like that. We had homeless families that we worked with clear through the pandemic, making sure they were under roof, that their children were connected, that they had devices. The school system did a great job. CIS threw in whatever devices they had that they could,
Yeah.
that they could use. So we added to what was needed.
You know, you wouldn't even think that the CIS program would be involved in a wellness program for the children, or making sure that a child has a roof over their head, or making sure that a child is fed. We look at CIS, okay, this is just a mentoring program that will come in and help a child to get from the 10th grade to the 11th grade or whatever, but you're telling me something now that really gets deep into that, Debbie. I just looking at it, you wouldn't think that a CIS program would be there.
We do a lot. We don't always advertise that.
Yeah.
And we don't do that because we want our families to know that we believe in them. We want them all to feel like they're being served with dignity and respect.
Yeah.
But there are needs that families have, and sometimes they have exhausted the other resources in the
Yeah.
community, and that's where we step up and we make sure that we don't want kids sleeping under a bridge.
Right.
We want to make sure they've got a roof over their head, and we do whatever we have to do, whether it's clothing, whatever we need to do, we do.
Yeah.
We look for a resource first.
Yes.
We reach out to the other community resources because we want to make sure that we're using what's already established in the community.
Right. Yeah.
And then when there's not anything else, then we evaluate, and we always ask the parents, if we're going to pay a light bill, what's your plan for next month?
Mhm.
Do you have a plan on how you're going to go forward and how you're going to handle this in the future?
Yeah.
So yes, it's a whole lot more than just making sure the kids are in school. It's making sure that everybody's healthy and well and things are moving forward. We have a lot of grandparents raising kids.
Yeah. I think we talked about this, the whole child. And that is the whole child. When you see that a child is being properly fed, that makes the energy level, that makes the excitement, that makes the love, and that causes him to study more, to read more. And when he doesn't have to worry about where am I going to sleep or how am I going to sleep. When that child has to worry about that, it seems like that just removes everything, because that's the important thing right there. And I'm so glad that you guys are taking the first step. Okay, is the child secured? Is the child being taken care of? Because I think that serves a lot in his learning abilities when he doesn't have to worry about all this other stuff.
Sometimes we have to know what's going on at home.
Absolutely.
So the learning's not going to take place until they have a sense of comfort with life.
Yes, yes. The comfort is the main word there. The comfort there at home. Sort of hard to train them all day, then they go back to a home that's dysfunctional, or a
Yes.
home where they are not getting the love or the food. It's kind of hard. And sometimes children can be hard on another child.
Mhm.
And I think that there we go again, is protecting the whole child and making our family see that, hey, look, we are here today. And I did, but that's another good point, is trying to get the family to see, hey, look, we are here to help you. We are not here to meddle in your business or to ask you anything that's not as an interest to this child. We are here to help you. Is there a way that you have to go about, or do you seek a parent or family out before you jump in there and knock on that door?
Well, one of our big blessings is we have 2 social workers.
Okay,
And they're repositioned from the Department of Social Services.
good.
And that is what their job is. Their job is to reach out to that family and say, we understand, Jimmy's telling us that there's not food in the house.
Right.
And sometimes, you'll get there and they'll say, yeah, well, it's just that Jimmy doesn't like what food is in the house.
Okay.
And other times it's, well, we're having a tough time right now.
Yeah.
Things are a little hard. So what can we do to help you? What can we do? And we ask them to tell us. We don't tell them. We want them to tell us what they need.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another good point, a lot of times child doesn't eat, maybe because it's not that they don't have it. Maybe they don't like what mama is fixing, and they can be stubborn. Well, I'm just not going to eat it, and I'm going to this, and I'm going to that. And I'm sure you got to say, okay, we believe the child, but let's go back and double check. And you hit on that point a lot of times. It's not that the food isn't there. It's just that he or she doesn't want to eat what's there.
Right. And sometimes you have to have that tough love.
Yeah.
There is food in your house, and your mama's doing a good job preparing that
Yeah.
food for you.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing to you.
I saw a commercial that I got my son. This family was sitting at dinner, and I think the mom had mac and cheese. The mom was eating, the dad was eating, and the son was getting, and the little girl says, I'm not going to eat that. She says, well, you will eat it before we leave here. She said, well, that's okay, then we'll just sit here all night. And I thought, if that had been in my household, I just think sometimes, Debbie, maybe we're getting a little off, but sometimes that tough love, that has to be some discipline.
Mhm.
You're going to eat this, you're going to eat it now, and you're going to like what you eat it.
Or you're going to go home and go to bed and be hungry.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
But thank you so very much.
You're
I know that, and I know that the passion for the children is there in you, and I know that we could talk about this for the rest of the day, time permitting. I know you got other commitments today as well as I, but again, thank you so very much for being our guest here at Straight Talk.
Thank you for asking me.
And I hope maybe we can, before school starts, we can get back together again and say, okay, CIS is planning this for the school year.
Absolutely.
Sort of thing. So.
We'll have some needs.
And it starts here.
And it starts here.
Okay, thank you so very much. Unfortunately, we have to end this conversation with Straight Talk, but be sure to tune in with us and write us back or email us or call us and let us know what you think about Straight Talk. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you for tuning into another exciting segment of Straight Talk, where we get straight to the questions and answers that you would like to ask some of the leading people in Caldwell County. We look forward to bringing you podcasts that make an impact in our communities. So tune in every Thursday at 7 o'clock, where we will bring you Straight Talk. We want to keep you informed on activities that are going on within our communities. Be blessed. We will see you next week.